شيخنا كيف توازن بين طلب، هذا السؤال من الأخوات، وأيضا سؤال قريب منها من الإخوة، كيف توازن بين طلبك للعلم أو لتعلم دينك مع القيام بمسؤوليات البيت ودراسة غيرها من العلوم، وأنت في نفس الوقت تتحمل مسؤولية البيت والمسؤوليات الأخرى، كيف توازن بين وقتك؟ والسؤال من الإخوة كان كيف تنظم وقتك كطالب علم؟ نعم، بارك الله فيكم. So the question from the sister is, how do you balance between studying and learning your deen, helping at home and learning different things, whilst keeping balance between home, outside, and in yourself? And a similar question from the brothers was, what is the best way to organize your time as a student of knowledge?
أخواني الكرام، طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم كما جاء في الحديث، وقال أهل العلم ومسلمة. ولذلك هناك أناس يمكنهم الله سبحانه وتعالى من الطلب، ويهيئ الله سبحانه وتعالى لهم الأسباب فيجتهدوا ويكون لهم قدرة على التعلم وبذل مزيد من الوقت لأجل أن يتعلم كتاب الله سبحانه وتعالى وسنة نبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم. والإنسان مبتلى بكثرة الأشغال والأمور التي تصده عن العلم، لذلك يدعو الله جل جلاله أن يهيئ له الأسباب ويستعين بالله سبحانه وتعالى ويطلب البركة من الله فيعينه الله سبحانه وتعالى. وهناك من أهل العلم له مؤلفات كثيرة، وعنده 4 من الأزواج، وكل زوجة ما في يعني غير مستقيمة ولا تعينه على الطاعة، وكل يوم مشاكله معها. والآن عنده 30 مجلد ما شاء الله في مؤلفات. والسبب أن الله سبحانه وتعالى بارك له في ماله، بارك له في وقته وفي عمره، لذلك اطلب البركة من الله وادعو الله سبحانه وتعالى. هذا أولا. ثانيا يا أخواني، كل واحد يستطيع أن يخصص من وقته جزءا للطلب وللعلم. العلم لا يأتي جملة ولا يأتي في يوم، بل يأتي في أيام بل سنين، ولهذا تصبر على العلم حتى يؤتيك الله سبحانه وتعالى علما ينفعك. فسواء كان الرجل أو المرأة يخصص له وقتا. الرجل يعني يعلم المرأة أو الزوجة أو الناس أن الوقت مثلا بين الظهر والعصر هذه للقراءة، يغلق هاتفه ويجلس ويقتطع هذا الوقت من حياته لأجل القراءة لا شيء غيرها. فإذا استمر على ذلك سوف يجد أنه خلال سنوات قرأ كتبا كثيرة وحفظ متونا كثيرة وتعلم ودرس. والطرق تتنوع، فبعض الشباب يا أخواني يقرأ مع أخيه بعد صلاة الفجر كل يوم نصف ساعة، جلسوا على ذلك 8 سنين ما انقطعوا. فسألتهم قالوا انتهينا من كتب كثيرة وجردنا مطولات، هم طلبة علم، لكن نصف ساعة هذه اقتطعوها من أوقاتها. فأنت الآن عندك العصر، الآن الليل عندكم ما شاء الله من الساعة 7 إلى 7، 12 ساعة، الساعة 4، لكن العشاء نعم. فيجلسون، اجلس ما بين المغرب والعشاء، تعلم ساعة واحدة كفيلة بإذن الله تبارك وتعالى أن تكتسب منها علما كثيرا. الأمر الثالث، هناك يا أخواني هناك أساليب أو طرق لكسب العلم. اليوم اليوتيوب، محاضرات هذه، قد تقرأ على شيخ، قد تجد يعني شيخا يعني متفرقا، ابحث واسأل واستفد، وليكن لك جليس تستفد منه. أما البطال يعني الذي يشغل وقتك ويسرق من وقتك، فهذا قلل من مجالسته، قلل من مجالسته. ثم اعلم أولا وأخيرا أن الأمور كلها بيد الله سبحانه وتعالى. فقد يكون الإنسان يعني قليل الوقت لكن يبارك الله في علمه. وأعرف رجلا قبل 35 سنة كان يدرسنا في يعني مع أن تخصصه ما هو شرعي، تعلم العلوم في المساجد، لكن تبارك الله إذا ناقش المتعلمين والكبار يغلبهم لجودة حفظه وجودة فهمه، ولا يريد الغلبة وإنما هم يناقشونه. فسبحان الله يعني آتاه الله سبحانه وتعالى علما كثيرا مع أنه منشغل بتجارة ومنشغل بكذا وكذا، لكنه يخشى الله سبحانه وتعالى، نحسب الله حسيبه. فبالتالي يعني خشية الله سبحانه وتعالى تورث العلم بعون الله تعالى.
Brothers and sisters, seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every single male or every single Muslim, as is mentioned in the hadith. And the ulama mention, and also upon the female Muslims. Seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every single Muslim. And the ulama mention also the female Muslim. And there are some people whom Allah subhanahu allows and gives them the opportunity to go seek knowledge. Allah subhanahu makes it easy for them and allows them time which they can dedicate to seeking knowledge. And so this person has to utilize that which Allah has made easy for him and to strive and work hard in studying and memorizing the book of Allah and the sunnah of His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And each one of us here has been tested and afflicted with many distractions and many preoccupations. And therefore, firstly, you should begin by making dua to Allah subhanahu that He makes it easy for you to seek knowledge. And He makes the avenues and the opportunities of seeking knowledge ample and easy for you. Secondly, you should seek help in Allah and seek help with Allah. And also you should seek from Allah barakah, that Allah subhanahu He blesses your time and He blesses your actions. And there are people, a person for example, who authors, and perhaps he's married to 4 women and he also has offspring, and each one of his wives are a distraction to him, and none amongst them aids him or helps him in his projects, and each one of them causes many problems. And yet despite this person has authored over 30 volumes in books which are beneficial. What is the reason? Allah subhanahu placed barakah, blessings in his actions and in his striving and in his time, such that he was able to do so. So this is the first point, that seek help in Allah and supplicate to Allah that He places barakah in your time. Secondly, we should know that each one of us has some time in the day which we can sacrifice and dedicate in learning and reading. Know that knowledge does not come to you in one go. Neither do you attain knowledge in one day. Rather, knowledge is attained throughout many days. In fact, many long years. And with patience, you are able to attain knowledge. So if you are patient in dedicating some time every day for a long period in seeking knowledge and learning, then Allah subhanahu will bless you with knowledge which is beneficial. And this applies to both men and women. Both men and women can specify or dedicate a small amount of their time, but it remains regular and long term. So for example, a person can dedicate between Dhuhr and Asr to learning and reading. And this time between Dhuhr and Asr, a person turns his phone off and he dedicates his time to reading and learning, and nothing else is done in that time. And then a person continues upon this, just that time between Dhuhr and Asr, which he focuses on learning. And he will find over the long term, over many days and years, that he has managed to read a lot and memorize a lot and learn a lot and understand a lot. And also helping each other. For example, a person sitting with another person after Fajr every single day, only for half an hour. But if you did this over years, if you did this over 8 or 9 years, you will find that you have finished many books, many of the great volumes of knowledge you can finish. And especially in this country, where in the winter the nights are long. The night comes in at 7 p.m. and it remains until 7 a.m. So you have all of that time, 12 hours, which you can utilize or dedicate some of it to seeking knowledge. And then Sheikh Dawood mentioned and interjected, in fact, after Maghrib, because the night comes in at Maghrib. So you have 3 more hours which you can utilize in seeking knowledge. Between Maghrib and Isha, you can sit down and you can focus for that time in seeking knowledge. The third matter is that there are various avenues now which a person can utilize in learning knowledge. There is YouTube. There's these types of conferences. You may go and search for a teacher or a sheikh who has some time. So you have to search and try and seek, and you will find something. And also accompany a person who has a similar focus to you. As for accompanying and sitting with a person who is only going to waste your time or steal from your time, then minimize the amount of time that you spend with such a person. And the fourth matter is that you should know that everything is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you should maintain your khashya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I know a person over 35 years ago, and this was a man who did not specialize in the sciences of Islamic knowledge. Rather, he was busy in his businesses and his trading, but because of his dedication and his sincerity, even though he was a businessman, he gained a lot of knowledge. And often, when some of the more senior scholars and the people of knowledge, those who were specified in the Islamic sciences, when they would discuss him or when they would try to debate with him, he was able to discuss with them easily, even though he did not intend to debate with people. Rather, they would come to him, they would approach him, and he was often right in the majority of the cases, even though he was a businessman. But because of his khashya, his fear of Allah subhanahu, and this is what we believe regarding him and Allah knows best, he was able to seek a greater amount of knowledge. So you begin with fearing Allah and you end with fearing Allah.